What's up, everybody? Unrested back again. Another ugly day in Japan, but this last weekend was beautiful. We were so lucky. 2015 Osaka Hanami party went smashingly. It was awesome. Thanks so much to everyone who came out. My only regrets is that I didn't give more channels a shout out. There was a hip hop and dance channel that I forgot to include in the video. If you're that YouTuber who saw me there and talked to me, get back at me so I can promote your channel a little bit later. It seemed like an awesome channel. A couple other people who had channels they needed me to promote. I wanted to do that too. It sounded like everybody had some great stuff going and started here. Just some newcomers to Japan, some old timers who've started some new stuff, and all different types of things in between. We had people coming from sushi shops that brought awesome sushi that was super delicious. We had music there. We had all different types of entertainment going on with all different types of skills that people had, and just generally great conversations. That's what was great, is the conversations, as always, of course. We had tiny chibi bosuzoku show up and do little chibi kicks and punches. They were really cute with their $1,000 costumes. Those clothes are like $1,000, in case you guys didn't know. They're like $2,000, $1,000 for those little costumes those guys were wearing. They're cool. Nice kids, nice 20-year-old kids. And so anyway, we had a great time. It was fun. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, that's right, I almost forgot. This Saturday starts the actual first Saturday. I'm back to having off on the weekend. Actually, I guess really last Saturday was, but that was the Hanami party. And of course, it still feels like a wonderful day off, but I do have a lot of responsibilities, so I couldn't have a show on that day. As far as the UnresTEAM live stream is coming back with a totally new setup. We realized in the past, not the most exciting show, I think, because we kind of tried to staple each show to only one topic and then try to just expound upon that topic, which oftentimes leads to these unaimed rambles with no target. So we've kind of set up a new type of system, and it includes you guys, the viewers. Your input is always super important because, let's be honest, you make YouTube, you make this show. JFAC would have never started without you guys. My channel would have never started without you guys. We want your suggestions as far as part one. We're going to have 4 parts to the series. Part 1 is news topics you want us to talk about Japan, okay? Don't worry, we're going to get into international stuff too, but number 1, we're going to start off with general news about Japan. Number 2, we're going to go into topics on music, TV, video games, and movies about Japan. So kind of like the first part is general news. You're going to have like crime, politics, new things that are happening, events with other nations and stuff like that. Number 2, we're going to try and get a little less serious and talk about some of the fun things coming out of Japan, maybe new inventions, robots, weird stuff Nintendo's doing, how they're making Angry Joe more angry, other stuff like that. Maybe how Konami's completely screwed Silent Hill over. And number 3, international. We're going to get a little bit international, and that news will be general news combined with music, TV, media, etc., etc. You know, obviously my channel is mostly focused around Japan. If I just start covering international news, then what makes me different from any other live news show? But I still want to cover some of that because people like to hear opinions. They like to hear opinions. They want to hear what someone's opinion is like who's lived in Japan for almost 10 years now, and 9 years been here, going on a decade. Kind of changes your view, your outside Gaikokujin view of the outside world, and even your own country, really. It really changes your own view of your own country. People want to hear some of that. The people we have on the show, actually, you know what, let me tell you the 4th part really quick. And then 4th part is going to be all kinds of general wackiness. We're going to do 15 minutes for each part, so only a 1-hour show. If there's one part you don't like, you can literally skip through to the next 15 minutes and choose what you like. And then we will later break that show up into segments and put it on the UnresTEAM's different channels so that they can share it with you. You don't have to sit through an hour show if there's only one part you like. We understand that not everybody might like the entire thing of our show. So let me tell you a little bit about the members on the team. Same people coming back as always. We've got Bjorn, also known as Grand. He's been to Japan twice already. He was a DJ here one time, came back a second time, and had a long time stay in Dobutsu and Mai, one of the hardcore ghettos of Japan. No joke at all. We have Dan, who's actually here right now. I think his channel is called Faded In, but he may be changing that channel name too. We are thinking of starting a different channel name for him. But right now it's Dan. He's in Japan, like literally right now. He was in just my Hanami video. He's back and forth because he's busy setting up, getting into the Tennoji I don't know the name of his college, sorry, Dan, but I probably shouldn't name his college on air anyway, but he's going to this college in Tennoji that's really famous for teaching Japanese. A lot of people go there, and I see him all the time because it's like super close to my house. And we've got Jared, good friends with Dan, who's doing his best to try to get over here to Japan. I think it's good because we have the people who have been to Japan, are in Japan, and the people who are kind of somewhere in limbo of getting here to Japan, because we've got Kyle also, who's doing kind of the same thing, studying Japanese in his own country first, America, and then heading over here to Japan. Rich, who's interested in the CGI, computer graphics, video game making part of Japan, got a degree in all that kind of stuff, and is deep into different types of projects like that in America, but wants to do it in Japan as well, so he's getting a little bit of the Japanese language influence along with how that whole system works there. So that's kind of our different types of input. We've got Joseph too. Sorry, Joe, I don't want to forget you. Joe's kind of new to the team. Joe, welcome to the team. We'll see how it goes on this show. Sometimes Joe can't get his microphone to work, so we don't know. So anyway, the team is back, same team that you saw on UnresTEAM before, but a new setup. And a lot more influence from you, the audience, because we feel like that's what makes the show. What the audience wants is what the audience gets, as far as what they think is important for news articles. Even if it's a news article I've covered in the past, it's okay to suggest it again. If you want us to elaborate, if you want to hear more than just my opinion, that is important that you get that, because like I said, mine is kind of this insider view of Japan looking out, whereas we have the other people who are either back and forth between Japan and their own country or totally in their own country, which I think gives us a good span of views from different nations, places, and people. That being said, the team will eventually expand even further if all goes according to plan and things go well. We would like to expand out further, so if you are interested in doing stuff to help with the team, please get in contact with us. As of right now, we just have a small Facebook forum board that has been, unfortunately, I would say neglected, horribly neglected by yours truly. I take full blame. I'm not going to try and make any excuses other than the fact that I didn't have a Saturday for nearly 4 months. My Saturday was gone. I was literally busy doing my own job, my illustration job, getting that stuff done in the morning, and then by afternoon to evening I was taking my son to Juku, which is cram school. I don't know if you know about it. You can Google Juku in Japan, Juku for the Romaji, and you'll understand why that's a hassle. Ugh. Anyway, I'm back now. That's what's important. That's what's fun. That's what's exciting for me. The show will be at probably 2:30 Japan time. 2:30 Japan time. And don't ask me, is it Tokyo time or Osaka time? Those are the same times. There's only one time zone in Japan. 2:30. Okay? JST, I think is that how you say it? JST, Japan Standard Time? I think there's one other one too. There's like Tokyo time, but they're the same thing because same time. Again, we're going to be doing all sorts of things. You can even start to list stuff in the comments here below. And we would love to see what you have to suggest for the show coming up, what you'd love to hear about, what you'd love to hear us possibly even argue about. In the future, we'd like to have stuff like having guests on the show and stuff to discuss certain topics. If you have a specialty in some sort of subject that we're going to be discussing, let us know, contact us, and let's get you on the show and talk to you about it. Maybe you have some kind of insight into all the problems that Konami and Kojima are having with each other. Maybe you have some sort of insight that some way we're not seeing the whole Nintendo versus Angry Joe type situation. Let us know. We'd love to hear your side of it. Until next time, I am Unrested. I hope you join me this Saturday for the UnresTEAM live stream. See you then.